All right, have you all been enjoying Dreamforce? Yeah, there's been a lot of exciting sessions this week, and we're really excited to share our segment of what's new and what's coming for Lightning Web Components and mobile. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you all that Salesforce is a publicly traded company and that you should base your purchase decisions with generally available features and products. As we get started, I'd like to first take a moment to say thank you to our customers and our developer community for your love and support for the Lightning platform. Your feedback and input is what enables us to build and innovate with Salesforce. In fact, some of the new features that we're going to share today and the roadmap ahead are some of the highly requested features from you all, and we're really excited to bring these to the stage today. My name is Alice O, Product Manager at Salesforce.
And my name is Irfan, Mobile Product Manager at Salesforce, and we're excited to show you what's on the roadmap and what we've been building.
Yeah. For the next 40 or so minutes that we have with you all, we'll be sharing some of the new features that are coming to LWC and mobile. Then we'll take a sneak peek at what the local dev experience looks like with a live demo. Then we will wrap it up by sharing the roadmap ahead for the coming year, and we'll have a few moments for questions and responses to hear from you. Now let's get started with Lightning Web Components. If you're sitting in the audience here today and you're just starting to dab into building with Salesforce, welcome. We're really excited you're here today, and you've come to the right place to start building with Salesforce using the modern web standards-based component framework that runs side by side with our existing Lightning components that also you can create with clicks or code. And most importantly, Lightning Web Components are built for performance. That is code executed on the browser to ensure blazing fast Lightning experience. We take performance very seriously at Salesforce. In fact, this year we have a dedicated effort to improve the overall performance of the Lightning platform with large-scale efforts including HTTP2 enablement, predictive data loading, as well as base HTML optimizations. For LWC framework, we are regularly monitoring our performance against the industry standard JS framework benchmarks, so that we are confirming that our performance is on par with some of the major industry standard frameworks that are out there. As you can see in blue, you can see the performance of the LWC framework compared against some of the other major frameworks out there, including Angular, React, and Vue in red. What's also exciting to see is that some of the later versions of LWC that you see towards the left from summer 24 are performing much better than the performance of the earlier versions of LWC that you can see towards the right from summer 23. We are also doing some work to make sure that we are building towards a web that is both inclusive and accessible and aligns with our values. We are working with the Web Standards Committee as well as funding Igalia to do some notable work in the accessibility space, including ARIA element reflection in Chromium, which allows ARIA elements to be Chromium to be able to use ARIA elements and represent it through the contents of the web page, as well as reference target prototype in Chromium, which allows ARIA elements to be used across shadow root boundaries. Within our own internal Salesforce engineering teams, we are making improvements to our browser accessibility tests to make sure that everyone has equal access and user experience when it comes to interacting with Salesforce. Now let's get to some of the new exciting features that are coming to LWC. Every year, we send out a survey to get your input on what are some of the features that you would like to see in LWC. And this year, in the 2023 survey, we saw that state management and local dev server were the top two most highly requested features for LWC. And we have some exciting news for you all. Local dev server under local preview is coming to you in beta in winter 25, and this is available in sandboxes today. State management is also something that we are working towards, and we plan to make this available to you in developer preview in spring 25. We want to make sure that we are keeping an open communication with our developer community. We consider this very important to us, and we're always looking for feedback on what are some of the new features you would like to see from LWC moving forward. Now, let's take a deep dive into state management. State management was the #1 most highly requested feature for LWC. We heard that current way of managing states across some of the large groups of components or apps is very complex, and the current methods of doing so using prop drilling or at wires introduces a lot of complexity and is really difficult to manage. So in spring 25, we're bringing this to you all in developer preview so that you can seamlessly access state from deeply nested child components. This allows you to retrieve, transform, and update data without being limited by where it is being consumed. You can now easily update and maintain state containers with logic for state updates co-located in the definition of state. With state management, you can easily represent and manipulate intermediate states and easily represent and manipulate pieces of the states while processes are underway. We're very excited to bring this to you all in developer preview in spring 25 so that you can have easier development workflow and have an easier way to work with data within LWC applications. The next feature we're excited to share is TypeScript support. TypeScript is also one of the highly requested features from you all, especially from our ISV partners, with over 3,000 points on ID Exchange. We heard from you all that a lot of our developers want to use type definitions from Salesforce APIs and components. In our 2022 survey that we sent out, we saw that 44% of our developers are using TypeScript in their development workflow. And so we're bringing this to you all in developer preview in winter 25 to ensure that our developers can leverage the developer productivity toolings that come with TypeScript. And also LWC continues to be a modern framework of choice for our developers to build with. Here you can see a demo video of what this looks like when you use TypeScript with LWCs. So let's go into SFDC and create a new component called TS component. And within the option, you can select TypeScript. So now you have the component. And in order to import the types, you should first import that via npm. So the demo is going through that to import Lightning types. And once you've done that, you can import the types provided by Salesforce. And here, let's say that you want to use form factor. So let's import the form factor type. And then use a method to call. Let's call that foobar. And then set the form factor to large. So what's really cool about this is that when you click on the form factor type, it provides the client ds d.ts file that includes the type definitions for form factor that is provided by Salesforce with all the goodness that comes from TypeScript. So clicking through to the form factor, you can see the client d.ts file. We're planning to also bring generating and distributing type definitions for our customers so that you can use it with Lightning Platform, so that you can easily collaborate with your team as well as maintain a standardized, consistent type definition. All right, moving on to complex template expressions. LWC complex template expressions allows component authors to add logic directly into the LWC template to alleviate the complexity within the JavaScript class. So as you can see in the diagram demo, you can write your ECMA script compliant syntax directly in the HTML template without jumping back and forth between the LWC template and the JavaScript class. We heard from you all that this is something that you want to see to reduce complexity in your code so that you can have a more simple and efficient code when interacting with LWC templates. Complex template expression was actually available and built out in summer 23, and we made this available in a closed beta, and so we work with several hand-selected customers, as well as internal teams, to make sure that we're testing against it and polishing the product feature. And so we're now excited to bring this to general availability to you all in spring 25. And lastly, Lightning Out 2.0. Lightning Out is a framework that allows you to embed LWC components in third-party non-Salesforce environments. This is especially powerful because it allows you to use your already created LWCs that you have on Salesforce and reuse them across your technologies. There's no need to migrate anything or export or import your data, but simply use the components that you already have built out across your Salesforce and non-Salesforce applications. Today, Lightning Out is available in beta, so you can check it out after the session. And it is being used with over 1 million page views per day, with thousands of orgs building their production applications with Lightning Out. In fact, Salesforce builds our products on top of Lightning Out. We have embedded chat, which allows end users who are on a non-Salesforce site to interact with the service agent that is surfaced through Lightning Out. This is enabled through Lightning Out. Salesforce Gmail and Salesforce Outlook, which surfaces Salesforce components in your email view, is surfaced through Lightning Out. And lastly, Salesforce Maps, which allows you to surface your records and pin it on a map, is enabled through Lightning Out. We are excited to bring this feature to general availability in summer 25, along with a range of new enhancements that we are introducing as a part of this release, including some of the security policies like isolation and encapsulation that's enabled through iframe and Shadow DOM. We're also including customizable CSP and an API to interact between the iframe and the host page. We're also making an overall performance improvement by serving the Lightning Out library through a CDN and loading some of the dependent files through by leveraging the async load. Lastly, we are making improvements with styling and branding capabilities. And so we are exposing styling hooks so that you can pass in styles from the Lightning Out application to the host page and vice versa, so that you can have a consistent brand experience with Lightning Out. We're really excited to bring this much-loved feature to general availability so that developers can build and host with Salesforce and deploy them wherever you would like to use these components, whether it be in Salesforce or non-Salesforce environments. All right, I will pass it over to Irfan.
Thank you, Alice. So I just want to start off with a question. And firstly, thank you so much for spending our time on the last day of Dreamforce. How many of you are building on LWCs but have not deployed on mobile yet? All right, I at least see a few hands up. Now, the beauty of everything that Alice announced in terms of what's coming in mobile, what's coming in LWC will also be applicable and extensible to mobile. And the thing that makes it happen is you need to kind of see how mobile is consumed from the platform perspective. Today, there are basically two schools of app management and also LWCs through your apps. I'm going to start off from the left side. It's the out-of-the-box mobile app. Everything built on the platform is consumed by mobile publisher, Salesforce mobile app, and our own apps. So the LWCs that you build today, if you want to render them on mobile, that's usually your primary vehicle to kind of deliver this. And this spans across experience, whether you're building for community experiences, whether you're building to direct-to-consumer in your B2C customers, or B2B, or B2E. All of these will work with all the announcements that Alice and team have been making in LWC. The one thing that we've also looked at is how do we ensure that while we are in your flow of creating LWCs, there are mobile tools for you to enable this as well. From a customization perspective, sometimes for mobile, you need to kind of up the ante and have end-to-end pixel-perfect control. That's where mobile SDK apps comes in. Fun fact, all our apps are built on top of mobile SDK. We have about 6.5 million users using mobile SDK, including our own apps. But this is a headless API. This is when you really turn up the knob on customization. You want to control end-to-end, pixel-perfect, every single piece of the user experience. That's where mobile SDK comes in. In today's session, we're going to talk about LWCs in mobile, which is basically going to focus on our three apps on the right, on the left. All of these apps and all of the experiences are mobile optimized with the power of the mobile platform. It is, again, on top, built by the Salesforce platform, but there's some unique things you have to think about mobile. I want you to walk through this slide in a clockwise direction, starting in the middle. There's some unique experiences in mobile, whether it's NFC, whether it's Bluetooth, barcode scanning, location. All of these are pretty unique to mobile. Mobile also has app development ecosystem through Apple and Google. So supporting custom mobile app development, mobile SDK, is another area we need to think about, and we provide support in mobile platform. While you're building LWCs in desktop, sometimes without putting in any effort from a code perspective, you want to see how it looks like at design time in mobile. We actually have worked really hard, and in the Lightning App Builder and through other developer tools in VS Code, we've provided support for you to do this at design time. Offline, a very unique mobile use case. Some of you work with customers who have pure offline use cases, and we need to support LWCs that work offline, again, powered by the mobile platform. The key thing is there are significant layers in the Lightning Web component in which you have to think of scenarios of how to support LWCs in an offline world, in an LWR world, in an Aura world. All these different flavors of LWCs need to work, and your programmers and your developers need validation when they're writing code in their developer environments, and we provide that with mobile platform. Another area is offline also wants low-code experiences because it is expensive to develop end-to-end. So low-code customization enables turbocharging of certain experiences. We provide this, and mobile platform provides a solution for every single product in our Customer 360 that lights up, whether it's service, sales, Slack, all of these things. So I'm going to start off with some of the features that are unique to mobile and mobile platform, which I want you to think about, especially for those of you who raised your hands who do not have a mobile solution. Starting off with Nimbus plugins. Nimbus is our platform solution for you and your teams to have access to native device capabilities like camera, NFC, location, right through your LWCs. And we've basically written this, and this has been in the market for a few years now, but we constantly evolve this. And today, Salesforce app, field service, and the mobile publisher apps have a lot of plugins coming out of the box, starting with location and instant code scans, so barcode scanning. So imagine a scenario, you're all in Dreamforce, you want to scan a barcode and create a contact. That's possible today if you have this embedded in your LWCs. Contact management is a little more fine-tuned for the B2C use cases. So we have Nimbus components for this. NFC, document scanning, biometric access, mobile-first unique cases, which you can now avail through your LWCs with the power of Nimbus. This is actually all available today. Even if these not available out of the box, the APIs are. So you can build your LWCs from a mobile context here. Some of the recent Nimbus enhancements, especially in the B2C world, because in the B2C world, when you're using experience sites and you're bringing them to mobile, you want some unique mobile experiences, starting with driver license scanning. So you want the ability to simply scan a driver's license, read the text, and have that data brought into your experience service website and into Salesforce. You can now do that out of the box in Mobile Publisher. Auto-deciphering text scan using OCR capabilities. I mentioned business card scan reader as an example. But if you have other documents that you want to scan and extrapolate data, you can do that in Mobile Publisher as well. And lastly, because barcode scanning and scanning use cases are so popular in the B2C section, we've actually enabled this as a flow in Experience Builder. So these are the recent Nimbus enhancements. And again, for the benefit of all of you in terms of who are still thinking or getting started on mobile, I want to double click on how we're making it easy for both debugging, testing, and using the LWC components on mobile. Let's take a look at some of the debugging features that we have. The number one problem when we surveyed developers, was unfamiliarity with mobile tools. So this includes simulator access or emulator access. We as a mobile platform have provided extension in the Visual Studio Code, wherein you can now start enabling mobile LWCs and test them on simulator and emulator. And you can test this on web views as well. For offline, we've basically created landing page templates for you to configure a landing page wherein for offline, you want to focus on those 5 things which your users would do 100 times a day, rather than providing them 100 things which they do only once a day. And the way we've done it is we've also provided templates and easy onboarding examples in our Visual Studio extension for you to create quick actions that are offline capable as well. And this is available today. And because there's so many flavors of LWC on mobile, sometimes you have to pick and choose. We also have programmatic validation, which is going live next month across all the entire stack, whether it's Apex for your traditional LWCs, GraphQL for your offline LWCs, and all of this have easy install and onboarding. We also have created a test app called Test Harness early this year so that not only are you testing the app in your simulators and emulators, you can test it on device and see how it works offline. We have a couple of scans here. You can download this and actually play with some of the offline scenarios. But this will tell you when, for example, in the offline scenarios, ideally you don't make network calls. Number one reason of failure in offline app, hey, things not loading offline because you're trying to make a network call. You can test it out through this app to see if you're making a network call right in there through tracing. So that was debugging. Let's look at automated testing. With automated testing, UTAM is something that we're all familiar with when you're testing when you're writing automated testing on Lightning Web Components. With the Power Mobile platform, you can now do that even on mobile. So you can bring the exact same test with UTAM to your simulators and emulators, because we support mobile page objects for UTAM that you can import and start automatically creating Appium tests on this. And for those of you who are not familiar with Appium, Appium is the industry standard automated testing in most of the web scenarios today. And you can get started along with your desktop scenarios on mobile as well by these 4 steps. You can simply download the emulators, get the UTAM mobile page objects through our GitHub repo, which is available already. You can install Appium and get started with your automated tests. You heard Alice show us the results of surveys. And Alice did a great job talking about state management. The second most important things to you that matter to you was local dev. We've brought local dev to beta in our winter release. What this does is it immediately gives you instant preview on both desktop and mobile. We're going to go through a live demo in a few minutes. But what this basically does is it allows you to see LWCs that you're building in the context of your larger org. And when you enable local dev preview, you can also put your entire org, especially sandboxes, in a developer mode. So as you deploy it, you can see it reflect in real time on both mobile and desktop. Let's dive into a quick demo and see it working live. So I have a sandbox here. My sandbox, I just went into admin, I searched for local dev, and I find this, and as soon as I enable this, there's a banner that tells me explicitly that local dev is on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my VS Code, and I'm basically going to feel brave and start local dev on the Lightning app called Coder Cloud. So this starts it up in local dev preview mode. I'm going to go into my experiences, and I'm going to go into a record page. I have a component that I've created, which is contact information. I'm now going to quickly put this side by side next to my VS Code. And let me just readjust this. So I have my HTML here, and if you see this, I have title, trail guide repeated thrice. I feel like most of my contacts here are trail guides. So what I'm going to do is I just need their names. I don't need my contact. Next, what I want to do is I don't like the color that I have. I'm just going to change it to a icon that I care about. Let me hit save. So you see, immediately, as soon as I hit save, it reflected in the desktop. Now, I mentioned about mobile. Now let's see what this looks like in mobile. I have a simulator already open, and what I'm going to do is, again, you got to love live demos. I'm feeling a little brave. So the exact same command, all we did is we added a device type, uses the form factor which Alice showed in her demo. We're basically giving the device type as iOS. I have a simulator created for iPhone 16 Pro. It's already open here. I'm actually going to restart it just to show you what this actually looks like. It starts off with self-signing. If you're a developer, the first step is making sure your simulator is set up with your certificates. I've already done that, so I'm going to skip this. So as soon as I do that, what this does, and what's happened here is I already had the Salesforce mobile app, but in case I did not, it would the platform would fetch the Salesforce mobile app's simulator build, install it, and ask you for logging into it. And I've already done all of that in the interest of time. So I'm going to go exactly to the same record page that we had, which is Canon Zipline Excursion. And I have the same exact component here. As you can see, it's already taken and removed that title. Now let's actually make an update. And I'm going to play some gymnastics here to get all of this content in the same page. And let me actually get back my change that I made. And I hit save. See, it reflected in real time both on my simulator as well as my desktop. Now that's the power of local dev preview. When you do changes live, you can actually see it in the larger context of your org. This is extremely powerful. And the fact that this is built on the platform, what this allows you to do is imagine that exact same experience, and you're building in the B2C world with mobile publisher or experience builder. This works with experience sites as well. The exact same example is also supported in experience site. I'd recommend going into Salesforce Plus, catching the video of local dev preview from today morning. It is a really informative end-to-end session that talks about experience sites as well. This is already available in our sandboxes. It's going to go in beta starting next month in our winter release. With that, I want to invite Alice back for the roadmap.
We're very excited to bring some of these features to you all. Along with some of the features that we've already shared and highlighted in the sessions today, there are many more that are coming to LWC and mobile in winter and spring 25. GraphQL pagination support or LWC attributes for field service are some of the highly anticipated features that are coming to GA in winter 25. We're also working on bringing third-party web components in LWC and source maps in custom LWC to GA in summer 25. If any of these features that we've shared in the session today or that you see on the screen are interesting to you, please come talk to us, stop by the booth, and let us know, and especially if you might be interested in being part of the beta, or if you might be eligible for the pilot or developer preview. As we wrap up the session today, I'd like to say that the conversation doesn't need to end here. Please come talk to us after the session. We'd love to hear from you and engage with you, and we love engaging with our developer community to hear what are some of the new features you'd like to see in LWC and on mobile. And thank you for joining us today, and thank you for helping bring developer efficiency and productivity to Salesforce development flow.
Yeah, just before you go, if you have any questions, we're going to be here waiting for the next few minutes. We're happy to answer any questions. One thing we also request is, scan the QR code here, leave us a review. Feedback is a gift. We always welcome feedback. This entire session is based on your feedback through your surveys, not just on the platform, but also on mobile. This just enables us to take all your feedback and get better the next time we meet as well. So. Thank you.
Thank you all.